Hey everyone, today I wanted to make a live commentary over a game because I figured that if you can talk while focusing on something else, then it should be pretty easy to talk while focusing on nothing else. If that made any sense, I'm not even sure. But so this this commentary won't be like planned out or anything. I haven't like rehearsed it. I'm just gonna be kind of talking off the top of my head while trying to play Trials. I do have topics thought out of what I want to talk about, but I haven't thought about what I'm going to say in about the topics. So let me know how I do in the comments. And let's see, what should we play? Let's play this one. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about was this experience, I guess you could call it, that I had on the bus today. And this is not supposed to be offensive to anyone in any way, so try not to take it that way. But so I get on the bus, going to school, and oh god, and this guy is most of the seats are taken, so I try to find one seat that's not taken, and there's this guy sitting there by himself, and so I sit down next to him, and he looked like a normal guy, didn't seem like there was anything wrong with him at all, and so I sit down next to him. He's like, "Hey, how are you doing today?" And I was like, my first impression was like, alright, some guy on the bus trying to make small talk so we don't have to sit there in awkward silence. It's like, alright, cool, whatever. So I was like, alright, I'm fine. How are you? And then so he's like, I'm good. What are you doing today? And I was like, going to school. That's why I have a backpack. I didn't say the backpack part, but that's what I was thinking. And then so I said, I'm going to school. And he was like, oh, cool. And he asked me what school, and I told him. And then he was like, what's your name? I was like, I'm Kenneth. What's your name? And he was like, I'm Robbie. How are you doing today? And then I was like, wait, didn't he just ask me that? I was like, I'm not sure if he actually just asked me that or not. So I was like, I'm fine. How are you? He was like, I'm good. And then so we were talking. I don't really remember what we were talking about. And then out of nowhere, he's like, what's your last name? And I was like, why? And then he's like, why? I was like, why? And he's like, why do you want to know why I want to know? And then so I was like, alright, I'm not sure if this guy's messing with me or if there's something wrong with him at this point. And so I'm like sitting there trying to figure out, I'm looking, I'm like, I'm not going to tell you my last name. And he was like, why not? I was like, okay, this has to be some sort of joke. Am I on TV? What show am I on? And then, so he starts asking me, and then it goes back to talking about normal stuff. And then, out of nowhere again, he's like, where do you live? And I was like, what? I don't know. It feels like this guy was messing with me, but I don't think he was, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But, okay, so he's like, where do you live? And I was like, that's kind of personal. I'm not going to tell you where I live when I don't even know you and I just met you on the bus. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he looked at me like I was being rude, which was weird because I don't know how it's rude to not tell some stranger where I live, but. And then so it goes back, we were talking about how it's been not rainy for 70 something days or something. I don't really remember. Sorry if you heard that car drive by outside. But we were talking about how it's been a drought for 70 something days, which is really rare here. Even in the summertime, it rains pretty often. I live in Washington, in case you guys don't know. So yeah. And then so we were talking about that, and then out of nowhere he's like, what are you doing this weekend? And I'm sitting there trying to figure out, what is this guy doing? Why does he keep asking me one personal question out of nowhere? He just keeps doing that. And then and then his brother sitting across in the across the bus. I don't know. It's a public bus, a city bus for anyone who doesn't know. I'm not talking about a high school bus. It's a city bus. City transit, I think it's called. I don't know. But so I'm sitting there, and then I think it's his brother. I'm not sure. But some guy across the way was like, Robbie, no. That's all he said. He was like, Robbie, no. And then, so Robbie looks at him and he's like, what do you mean no? And then, at this point, I'm like, alright, this guy's just messing with me. I'm just going to ignore him from now on. So then that guy's like sitting there like, and then he's like focusing only on personal questions. Like, he kept asking me what my last name was again. And then like, I think he asked me my address a few times. I don't know. And then I don't know if it's his brother for sure, but they seemed maybe a couple years apart in age. So I don't know who else it would be. But he was like, no. And then, so he keeps trying to talk to me, and his brother's like, Robbie, I don't think he wants to talk to you, and I don't blame him. And then, so then the guy, like, is silent, and when I'm just about to get off, oh no, he gets off. And then on his way out, he, like, turns back and looks at me, he's like, have a nice day. Like, oh my god, it was so creepy. Go. So yeah, he's like, have a nice day, all creepy-like. And I don't know, it was just freaky, and I thought it was pretty weird. I've been taking the bus for like, what, I don't know, a few months, and I've never experienced any like weird people. I know there's a lot of like weird, I guess you could call them, people on the bus, but I've never actually experienced them like being that weird towards me. I don't know, maybe that's a weird way to put it, but so that's the first thing I want to talk about. I just thought that was a funny story. And then another thing is habits and weird habits, bad habits, good habits, anything. Because I've been noticing my habits a lot more lately. Like, I know everybody has habits in everything they do, but like for some reason I've been like, I don't know how to explain it, like noticing them, I guess, more. Like they're sticking out to me. Like I started noticing a pattern, and when I get home from school, I literally do the same thing every day. Why can't I get up this? And I literally do the same thing like every single day. And I don't know if I need to fix that or not. Like it's eventually gonna get boring. But I get home from school, like I get off the bus, walk home from school, from the bus stop, because the school's in a different city. That's why I take the bus. So get off the bus, walk home, and then the first thing I do when I get home is I take off my belt and take off my shoes and my coat, and then, well, if I'm wearing a coat, and then after that, the next thing I always do is check YouTube. Like that's the very next thing I do every single time. Check YouTube for anything new. Sorry if you heard that again. I don't know why there's so many people driving by now, but so I check YouTube, and then the next thing is usually I get like a sandwich or something to eat, because I never eat at school. So I just eat when I get home. And then I do homework at like 4 o'clock. I get home at like, what, 3:30ish? Because I don't leave for school till like, well, my first class is at 11:10 a.m. So I get home around 3:30, which is, I think it's nice. A lot of people would hate that schedule, but to me it's a good schedule. And so I get home at around 3:30, usually a little bit sooner sometimes, and I usually do that and then make something to eat, check YouTube, all that, and then around 4 o'clock I do homework, which the homework part's a good thing. Starting, if you guys watched my school video, I'll link it or put an annotation or something, but if you guys watched it, then I said it's a good thing to like start your homework at the same time every day, which is true. It gets your brain, it's sort of the same concept as people who wake up at the same time every day for like a long time, and then eventually that their brain just wakes them up at that time, even if they don't have an alarm clock set. They'll just start waking up at that time every day, even like without an alarm clock. Same concept, your brain is just like used to that. And so I've been doing the same thing every single day pretty much since I started school, like last quarter or 2 quarters ago, because I didn't go to school over the summer. So 2 quarters ago, I've been doing the same thing every single day, and I think I need to change it up because it's starting to get boring. And eventually I'm just gonna hate life, and that's never good. Hating life is always a bad thing. Don't you dare give me another. How do I have 13? Oh my god. I need to practice this, definitely. I'm not good at focusing on the game and talking at the same time. This is definitely something I need to work on. Oh my god. This is probably like torture to watch. Just some guy like playing a game, doing the same thing over and oh, finally, go. Oh, okay, thought I wasn't gonna get that checkpoint. Anyway, so yeah, habits, and then there's also like little habits. Like I don't really have any bad habits really. Like I used to chew my nails, but for the past like year, I've just gotten used to just clipping them like every 1 or 2 days. However, whenever they're like you notice them, you know what I mean. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. Tell me how I did on the talking and the focusing on the topic while I'm trying to focus on a game at the same time, which obviously the game part didn't work well, but I need you guys to tell me about the commentary part. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. Bye.